Asante, naona mjadala mzuri. Nilikuwa nataka kusikiza kidogo mkiendelea ndio nichangie. Ama nataka nizungumzie juu ya kanisa.
Yeah, we are looking at the church. Instead of giving a stand on GMO, they requested for an apology from Moses Kuria. And then, of course, the farmers have been crying that the importation of maize should not take place until their harvest is over.
Excuse me. Why? I think Miss Rim, your mic is. Can you try to tune, because I can hear the sound background. Maybe your TV, your radio. Please, can you tune? Unmute, please.
Okay. Thank you, Rhoda, for that. Yeah. So, Miss, you have feedback from your background. I think you are listening to something else, so you will put it off first so that your communication is clear. All the same, that's what you're looking at. The two things: the outcry of farmers falling on deaf ears for Kenya Kwanza, by them gazetting and giving permission to millers to import maize for 6 months duty-free. The maximum number of maize to be imported, not given, but free to import maize. Is this one way of making farmers not able to produce next year? And what is the end of the same? So if you are set, you can make your submission.
Thank you very much, Bernard. I just want to draw your attention to the debate of GMO in 2011, where the Prime Minister then, being Honorable Raila Amolo Odinga, he wasn't the Prime Minister, but he was a Member of Parliament, where he challenged the House, telling them that the people should not be afraid of trying and utilizing science and technology. As a result, he encouraged people to accept and embrace the introduction of GMO. And I think this debate began all the way back in 2011. And Raila Amolo Odinga was the champion of this motion in Parliament. Another thing I just wanted to talk in terms of the church. The role of the church in governance is not to stir misunderstanding, is not to bring or take sides, but is to bring unity to the community while respecting the leadership in church. While respecting the leadership. It will be understood that the church should work independently, not to interfere with the government of the day. So I do understand that what the comments that Moses Kuria made were very insensitive, although they are realistic, although they are truthful, but they were insensitive in the manner that he put it, and the timing was not right for him to make such comments. But if I might reflect, I would agree that every day when you're in Kenya, you don't know whether you will wake up tomorrow. You don't know whether you will meet the thieves that will kill you, whether lack of food, some people will die for lack of food. You don't know if your brother is waiting for you to kill so that he can inherit your wife, and so many things. So dying is inevitable. And you, Bernard, as the man of the cloth, you know that death is well explained in the Bible, and that no one can escape death, and all of us are in that journey. The thing is, what are we doing to mitigate the deliberate death that...
Wanamize, please. Please, okay? The Bible is against people killing others. Thou shalt not kill is part of the 10 commandments. All right?
But
the Bible is against any person are planning and killing another. So bad that the Bible says even being angry with a brother is equivalent to murder. So if somebody goes on national television and says, since we are faced with different vices that are out to kill us, let us also just bring GMO so that we can die of it quickly. Is that a person that has value for life? Is that a person that should be given? Would you, if Moses Kuria was a nurse and you are sick, would you go to Moses Kuria and is assigned to your bed, okay, to watch you while you are sick? Would you be safe in the hands of Moses Kuria with that attitude towards life?
Bernard, and also, I don't see any in those 10 commandments. I don't see any commandment that says that thou shall not die. It actually says that
I shall not die but live to declare the works of God is in the Bible.
Yeah. So what
I shall not
already,
die is there.
thou
I
shall
shall
not
not
die.
die, and my death is not supposed to be caused by anybody. Whether somebody causes it or not, you will have to nini. But let's nini. Mise, I appreciate your contribution, and I just want you to be truthful. Okay, when you state facts, keep them within the framework. Stop exaggerating or looking for how to defend the undefendable. Just be a nice guy that you are. State this and this. Raila Odinga was not championing for GMO in the parliament. He was responding to a question. That's very different from championing. Okay? And what he stated then, the ban for GMO in Kenya took place in the same year by the same cabinet where he was a member. It was banned by the Minister for Public Health. So why do you use Raila's name to justify what is wrong? Secondly, you are in the diaspora, okay? The entirety of the world has rejected GMO. Raila accepting GMO, will it now remove the effects of GMO? Why do we use Raila as a scapegoat for the evil we want to cause to happen in this country? And then, without even, remorse, we want to convince Kenyans that because Raila said this, then it has to be this because he said. Hi, me say, help Kenyans, don't impound them. Death is there, yes. Death is inevitable, yes, but it's evil for any government to plan to kill its people. The government exists to protect its people. Whether it's snakes, whether it's locust, whether it is hunger, the government is supposed to shield its people from suffering, not to import what is going to kill them.
I like the way you selectively said that Raila responded. I wish you could have said that Raila equally advocated for people to impress cells. And he said
He
that
did not
even countries...
advocate. He responded to a question. Raila is one of the most progressive politician and leader in this country. He seemed to be at the cutting edge with the current development than most of you young people. And it is embarrassing to instigate that Raila will advocate for backward Stone Age things like wheelbarrow. I mean, when the younger people are retracting to Stone Age and an old man is able to see in the future and says there is artificial intelligence, we need to work this way so that we'll be relevant as a nation in progressively. Embracing science and all that is not in any way saying we must accept everything science provides.
So can I now respond fully so that I can I'm not taken out of context. So what I was saying is that and in verbatim what Raila Amolo said is that if GMO was that bad, the countries like America, Britain, and other countries would have not allowed the consumption of GMO for its citizens. He went ahead and said that conservativeness will kill innovation. So those were his words. So what the reason why I brought in Raila, and I like the way that you're saying is progressive, it means that we are impressing what he advocated and what he championed, and he told us that we should embrace science, and this is what we are impressing. And for your information, GMO is not banned; it's regulated, highly regulated. So before it is consumed, for instance, in Canada, the scientists must do enough research to make sure that there is no harm for people to consume it. So GMO has been there, and that's what we eat. I don't see, I've eaten GMO. I don't see, I'm still healthy and strong, and I don't see that I've died. And you know, as a Christian, Ben, you know that there is a beginning and the end, and that's what the Bible tells us, that God knows in Psalms, that God knows you're waking up and you're sleeping, and you know, where he says that where can I go and hide from such knowledge that is wonderful that I cannot fathom, meaning that if you were to die, God already knows the day and time that you will die. This is something that is inevitable. And I think there is no government, there is no sane government that will kill its people, because one of the first responsibility of the government is to protect and provide physical food security, national security to its citizens. So it would be misleading for someone to say that the government will kill its people. However, there are people who make ridiculous comments that can be misconstrued to mean that the government intends to kill its people. Moses Kuria, as is notorious, is known to make reckless comments, not to in this government, even during the Jubilee government. He has made outrageous statements that has left Kenyans to wonder whether or not Moses is a sane person. So we should not take jokers serious. Even though they have been charged with the responsibility, we should differentiate the sense of humor from seriousness or from policy issues. So that is what I wanted to give in. And the farmers, and I think there's something Miguna said actually that we should take very serious. I saw Miguna's comments that we should protect the indigenous farmers, and that is where patent rights comes in. So we should try and come up with patent rights so that we can protect the local farmers. The local farmers should unite and come up, get strong intellectual property lawyers who can be able to help in protecting the interests of the farmers. And in regards to the clip that you played earlier, which is a lecture in a university, I presume, most professors from the countries of the South, they are very passionate with issues of governance and issues of affecting Africans, because those who come from South America are equally affected and oppressed and taken advantage by countries of the West, the same way Africa has been taken advantage of. And so the issues they articulate on policy document, they make sense, but in reality, they don't make sense, because they actually they make sense, but who are the enablers of this? The enablers of this are our own leaders. Our own leaders, African leaders, have never united to have one front, so that when they go to United Nations, they can bargain and speak for and for the people of Africa and for their own countries. But rather, they are compromised individually, that when they are going to meetings such as United Nations, they end up misrepresenting the people of Africa and represent their own interest. That is why people like, when you look back, people who have tried to challenge the countries of the West, they end up having problems. And Muammar Gaddafi is one of them. Muammar Gaddafi, Robert Mugabe of Zimbabwe, and people like Kagame are people who have challenged the decisions that are made by the West, and they are feared, but they are labeled as dictators. So until the time all African leaders can unite and speak one voice and represent the interests of our continent as Africa, then they will be able to have the power. If you look at the countries like Brazil, India, um, Brazil, India, China, and South Africa, they came up with a bloc. They formed a bloc called the BRICS, and now they have power to negotiate, a trading power to negotiate on their behalf. Whereas Africa as a continent, we don't have a bloc. When we go to Ethiopia for a meeting, they're already compromised, and we end up voting, making decisions that affect our continent as Africa. So this issue is not just for Africa, but for individual leaders who have no stand in Africa. Thank you.
Me say you are proving to be that type of a leader who has no stand, and what you're advocating for is not even practical. That farmers should come together, form an association that will block the cross pollination between the indigenous crops and the GMO crops. I don't know how that will work, but for now, I just want to let that go. In my opinion,
Then that works. If you want to know, go read about Monsanto. Read about
wacha
a
hiyo
company
mchezo
called
tafadhali,
Monsanto.
wacha hiyo mchezo Mr. Tafadhali,
No,
stop
no, no,
it.
no. Then
Stop
that is
taking
misleading.
us for fools.
If
Okay,
you look, no, I
the
mean it's not
side
full.
effects of GMO is known worldwide, except in your house. You are eating it every day and you look healthy. There's no problem. Keep eating, eat it until you have volunteered to be the specimen where they will check whether GMO works or not. Keep eating it. We will come for your funeral. If we volunteer to come for your funeral when you are through with the GMO. The truth is, what you're advocating for is impractical, it's unacceptable, and the rest of the world, there is even a demand that no GMO should be put on the shelf of any supermarket until it is labeled so that the decision of the person to buy, he does it from an individual point of view, not because the government decided.
And
What
that
you're
is
advocating for
regulation.
doesn't work.
And that is
Doesn't work
regulation.
where you are. You want it to work in Kenya. That is not going to help anything. For now, you just want to cause havoc by trying to persuade Kenyans to think in your way of thinking, which, in my opinion, is unacceptable and is not as progressive as you want to make us believe it is. It isn't. And then dragging Raila's name so that GMO can be accepted, it will not. We are launching a campaign against it. We will drive out all GMO advocates in this country. Kenya is capable of producing more than enough food for its people on its own without any aid from anywhere. Then some lazy person comes and say he wants GMO so that he can deal with the hunger situation. GMO will get rid of drought. GMO will get rid of floods. GMO will get rid of pests. GMO will get rid of will bring rain. Tuache kubeba wajinga. Kama nchi lazima tukubali majukumu ya kuhakikisha kwamba tuko milioni ngapi? 55. If we are 55 million, we should have how many bags of maize? We must have surplus. Any sane nation has food to 3 to 5 years in store. Food that can take them 3 to 5 years. Other nations have 10 years. stocked food. Hii yenu mnangoja magunia, mnafanya hii ni mchezo tunacheza hapa. Na serikali ya Kenya Kwanza kama hawataamka, it will be the historical government that was chased out of power because of hunger. Let's wait and see. Oga Francis, thank you for arriving. We are happy that you are here. Please help us clear the air on these matters, because mchezo, it sickens me when we are the producers of everything, yet we lack everything. Then somebody says we should just accept and move on. No, I won't.
Bernard.
Yeah.
You see, the issue of GMO, let me just give Miss a little bit of education so that he understand. There's something that we call antibody antigen reaction. An antibody, these are protective organs within our body or blood that attacks any kind of antigen or virus that comes to our body. That's why you are able to defend it. So when you take a GMO that has been altered genetically, the body does not recognize that kind of a molecule or that kind of a nutrient that has been altered. So what it happens is the body may likely to attack what you consume as a food. That is why these supplements are there to suppress maybe even those antibodies so that they will not be able to react with your body. That is like more of immunosuppression. It will suppress your body so that haita react. Unajua sasa ukikunywa maji, your body knows very well that umekunywa maji ya kutengeneza mwili. But ukikuwa na kitu kama amoeba ndani, the body will produce antibody to fight the amoeba because it's not part of water. This will happen with the GMO food because that molecule that has been added or removed was very essentially. So it will cause that kind of a reaction within the body. And the other issue also, you look at it in this sense that pick an example of something like carrot. Let me use carrots. Carrot is used in sight, and that means it's more useful in making of iodine. That is the part of an eye. It contributes to making of certain ions in the part of an eye. So this carrot is being altered. Ikiwa altered your carrot, ikienda kutengeneza iodine, which kind of iodine will it make if the exact nutrients that were needed or the exact form of component that were needed has been changed? Could it occur that we have lenses that is ni kubwa kushinda macho? Unapata mtu ana macho kubwa kushinda lenses inatoka nje because maybe those nutrients that were used to make iodine are no longer functioning. These are the things that there are questions that people are raising, and that is why most of them associate with it with the cases of cancer, because cancer is uncontrolled growth of immature cells. So these are the things that are more associated with the GMO. So the moment somebody says that there is no the exact impact of GMO, I think he needs to go and look at how when you alter something genetically. Even mad people, by the way, let me tell you, mad people, they either have 47 chromosomes or 45. A normal person should have 46. So could the GMO add additional chromosomes or alter it? It will need a lot of things. What I know and what I understand, anything that has been altered genetically, it will have an impact in our body at long last. And for those of you who have done at least a bit of science, the genes are never lost. Wewe ukikula utakula tu, itatengeneza kitu huko kwa mayai, si kwenye utazaa tu hivi inajitokeza kwa hiyo mtoto. It is hereditary material. That is why hata fadhali pombe, juu ukikunywa pombe kama ni wewe Bernard, wewe utakufa tu na watoto wake uache salama. Lakini hiyo itakuwa ni more of generational, itakuwa repeated over generation and generation. I don't think that one is something that we can allow Kenyans with it. So on the issue of the churches, kanisa yetu ilishapokonywa, ilishaendanga hiyo. Unless sasa Bernard usimame ukuchague kuwa mkubwa wa makanisa utuongelelee juu hapa watu walioko kwa mfuko. Ukishapea mtu mkate, loaf ya mkate aweke kwa mdomo, ataongea namna gani? The brown envelope of a working bwana, you know. Kina Muge na wengine wenye waliondoka na kina Mwana Anzeki, people who could stand and talk something and government could hear, they are no longer there. Hata Desmond Tutu alichoka akaamua kuwafuata wenye walitangulia watangulizi wake, maana dunia imebadilika. Anyway, thank you Bernard, I will just appear later.
Okay, thank you, Francis. We appreciate that. And That's the same thing I'm saying, especially for us who are believers or Bible believers. The creation, there is a reason why God is the creator and we are the creation. And what makes God the creator is that he's able to tell, the Bible says he's able to, it declares the end from the beginning. That means in every seed, okay, he is able to tell what that seed will metamorphose into to the last day of that production when it has reproduced. He's able to tell all that. But as creation, we are limited in our understanding. We can only see here. So when we begin to alter what he created to metamorphose or develop in a certain pattern, we change the pattern. How sure are we that that changed pattern is able to sustain itself in the same manner forever? And that explains why the genetically modified products cannot reproduce. That means they are just put for now. They cannot be eternal. But the one for God, he went to creation once and he has never gone back to. They have been able to reproduce forever and have remained the same. Contrary to those of you who believe in the Big Bang Theory and the evolution, okay? Monkeys have remained monkeys as long as we have been here. There's no day a monkey became a human being. And human beings have remained human beings all along. Fish has remained fish all along. Snake has remained snake all along. Every reproduction has sustained its species and its genetical composition. When we begin to alter the genetical arrangement, we are trying to play God, and eventually what will happen? We'll begin to generate either giants or zombies. And the most probably is zombies. I don't know. I don't want to be part of a world that's laid and constituted of zombies. We need to be smart people, able to chart the way forward, doing what is required to do in the right way. GMO is unacceptable. Kenya Kwanza government is lazy. That's why they are going for GMO instead of taking irrigation to Turkana, taking irrigation to Marsabit, taking irrigation to all our fertile places so that they are able to generate enough food to feed the Kenyan people and be able to export the same food to other parts of the world. Organic food, both in America and elsewhere, costs more than GMO. So why should we import what is cheap in America and kill what is expensive in America? If you are meeting development partners, you need to sit them down and tell them, we are going to supply you with organic cows, beef, organic beef, okay? At what rate? We need a special rate so that we buy the animals and send them across the sea and be able to make money. We already have organic animals. We have organic avocados. We have organic everything. That organic product is more expensive in America. America is looking for it. Then instead of you selling it to America,
Bernard,
you are taking free things from America so that in the pretext that you are creating market. You create market for America. You are put in office so that you create market for America or create jobs for Kenyans. What
Bernard,
in the
I'll show you
world?
something.
Ngoja kwanza, Rhoda, hold on. We'll come back to you. We'll get back to you. What is it? What will GMO bring in terms of added advantage to the Kenyan population, except bringing them strange diseases? Yes, Rhoda, what are you saying?
Like this bread, you see it here. You see something like green. This green, it means it's healthy. I always buy bread with this green. It means healthy. And sometimes there's some bread, they don't have this green. Those are not healthy. All the time when I go to the shop, I buy everything with it. My doctor told me that because of my blood sugar. Because nini nisipate, nikuwa na shida na blood sugar. Daktari wangu akaniambia nikuwe nanunua hii kila kitu ikuwa na hii green. All the time nikinunua mkate na fruit nanuanga organic. Na nyama mimi nanunuanga organic. Kwa sababu daktari wangu aliniambia wewe unakula vizuri, kwa sababu usifanye magonjwa ya diabetes, usipate magonjwa ya nini. I had problem with the blood sugar. Sasa akaniambia nanunua chakula. I don't buy this white bread. White bread is not healthy. So when you go to supermarket, buy fiber bread. Unajua ile tunataka mtu wa yata, unga ya yata is the same. So here in Europe, we have those GMO, but not many people they buy. They usually buy for organic. You see? So the president of Kenya, he want to sell you. Anamuuza nyinyi. Kwani nyinyi ni maumbwa. Nyinyi si binadamu kama wao. Musitie kuuzwa. Kenya government have responsibility to Kenyan citizens to have a nice food in the supermarket, organic food in every county. Si kumuuza. Kwa nini sisi hatuuzangu sisi? Why? Can you ask that question, please? Thank you.
So, asante Roda. Mr. Guru, yes?
Mise, I hope you've not seen this. Somebody says that people should observe how malnourished you are. I don't support that, but I don't hope that that is a factor of GMO.
Guru, you don't have for such stupidity, because you're kind of validating a very idiotical kind of thinking.
No, I just pointed out.
You should denounce that.
Order. Thank you. Mr. Guru, thank you for citing that. I was avoiding to do that. Lakini wacha tuseme.
Sorry, Misa, if it's hurt you.
Then as a Christian, you should
Ngoja bwana Mise, hii maneno ya kudraga Ukristo kwa masuala ambayo wewe umekuja hapa kudanganya kwamba GMO ni nzuri, wewe unakula GMO,
watu wakule GMO.
Ufuate katika kukula GMO. Ukweli ni kwamba Bishop wangu anasema kabla ukubali doctrine ya kanisa yoyote, observe wale watu waliamini hiyo doctrine kabla yako. Kama wanaendelea vizuri kuliko wewe, fuata. Kama waendelee vizuri kuliko wewe, usifuate. What we are saying here is simple, okay? GMO is not just regulated. It is banned, it's rejected in majority of the countries in the world. Majority of the countries in the world. And GMO is not a debate for yesterday. It's been here for a long time. It is backward for any government in this time and age to be the one advocating for GMO to come. Not if in Africa. When the Arab world is desert 100%, they are not advocating for GMO to come. What is William Ruto and team looking for in GMO that they cannot produce in this country? This is unacceptable. That a whole cabinet sit down and says we need GMO. What makes us need GMO? Have we exhausted all our possibilities of generating enough food for the people? I don't think so. We have enough land to produce more than enough food organically in this country. And we'll have a problem of more than enough food in this country if we have a working government that is serious about feeding its people. But this laziness of going looking for a shortcut to bring GMO here because the Americans have asked you to do so and they have told you that there is nothing wrong with GMO, Americans, Let Americans feed America. We need Kenyans to feed Kenya. Yes, Bwana Guru, you are still, yes. Malisa sentence yako tafadhali.
Yes, one other thing maybe, Bernard, that we should point to the people is that our ecosystems, how are these GMOs going to disrupt our ecosystems? And to what effect in going into the future are we going to be safe, in the sense that once an ecosystem has been destabilized, bringing it back to its useful form? And I think precisely this is what is happening in some of those Western countries. If you go to places like Germany and elsewhere, they invest seriously in ecosystems. And knowing how fragile our ecosystems can be because of the competing needs that we have here, the flora and fauna, it is scaring that we can open up our country to such experiments that could dispel doom for us and our generations to come. I don't know whether Mise is aware that the whole issue of GMO has also an implication on the ecosystems, which is a very, the ecosystem is also tied to the food production systems. I think we need to be very careful when we adopt solutions offered from elsewhere. We cannot afford to be suicidal. Yes, we may have our own problems, but when we adopt other people's problems, then we are a problem ourselves. Thank you.
Asante sana. Inaonekana Mise ni mmojawapo wale wanaamini kwamba mvua inatoka mbinguni, haitoki kwa forest. Kwa hivyo forest inaweza timuliwa tu. They don't care about the ecosystem. They will pray everything into effect. The president is on record to be praying for the economy instead of laying down policies that the economy can be, can be brought into performance capability. He wants to increase a collection of tax instead of increasing job opportunities that will result into collection of tax. I mean, we have an upside down government. This is surely bottom up. I mean, they have turned everything upside down. Instead of cause and effect, they are affecting instead of cause. We wouldn't have any better description than this. Of course, it's official, the famine is over. I mean, the dry spell, but now the floods are here. You will hear them saying the floods are now national disaster. Let's wait and keep with the conversation. Thank you, everyone.
So can I respond?
After this, please.
Kumi ya mamia katika eneo la Rombo, kaunti ya Kajiado wameshindwa kusafiri baada ya mvua kubwa kusababisha mafuriko katika kaunti hiyo. Usafiri kati ya Kajiado na Taita Taveta sasa umekatizwa. Mafuriko hayo yamesababisha uharibifu wa mazao na kuharibu barabara kabisa. Wito ukitolewa kwa wakazi kwa uangalifu wakati mvua inaposhuhudiwa ili kuepuka maafa.
Sasa hapa hivi tuna zaidi ya masaa 8 tukijaribu kusubiria na kujaribu kumsii mwenye shamba, yani mwenye shamba ambaye amepakana na barabara, angalau aturuhusu tupite kwenye eneo lake ili kuweza kuokoa mazao kufika sokoni. Na tumekaa hapa zaidi ya masaa 8 tukimsii na tukimuomba, na ni haki yake akikataa ama akikubali, maana shamba lake linaendelea kuharibiwa na magari, na ili hali barabara ya serikali ipo ni ya kurekebisha tu na kutengeneza.
Tunahitaji kutengeneza njia ambazo zitakuwa za kutusaidia kama wakazi kwa sababu ya hii shida ya barabara. Ninaelewa ya kwamba kuanzia pande ya Taveta imeanzia, this barabara is illicit to Taveta. Ninaelewa ya kwamba pande ya Taveta imeanza. Kwa hivyo tunaomba ikuje kwa haraka, ikuje ili imsaidie mwananchi wa kawaida, kwa sababu shida ya barabara imekuwa kero kubwa kwa wananchi wa hapa.
Imekuwa kila wakati wanapita kwa shamba yangu. Wanasonga tu. Magari, mapikipiki, mpaka hata shamba imeharibika, hata nikijaribu hata kulima hailimiki kabisa. Kwa hivyo nataka kusema serikali waje watengeneze barabara. Wamepima barabara miaka iliyopita na mpaka saa hii hatuoni. Tunaona tu akileta manini wakija kupima barabara wanaenda kabisa. Juzi ndio nimekatiwa shamba yangu. Magari saa hii imepita, imetoa beacon zangu, inapita kwa shamba yangu, imelete maji yote mpaka kwa shamba yangu. Ndio maana yake nimesuia hizi magari iache kupita kwa shamba yangu, apite kwa barabara, maana sitaki ipite kwa shamba yangu, maana shamba yangu tayari imeshakuwa korongo.
Na mtazamaji, na sasa tugeukie masuala ya elimu, ambapo wakuu wa shule za msingi za umma wanaitaka serikali
Thank you everyone for continuing to follow the broadcast. Before me say response, let me just respond to Black. Black says Mbinguni is heaven. Rain comes from clouds, not heaven. I think, Bernard, you must read about evaporation, conservation, and rain in standard 3 of 844 system. Wewe bwana Black, tafadhali usitubebe wajinga tafadhali. Aliyesema mvua inatoka mbinguni sio mimi. Aliyesema hivyo ni kwanza ni rais wa kwako. Secondly, evaporation takes place where you have forgotten your photosynthesis. Pia hiyo ni standard 4 ya 844. So please don't twist what you know is factual. Thank you. Misa, ulikuwa unasemaje?
I was saying that a lot of people who come to this station, they are just hell-bent to not constructively criticize the government, but to negatively ridicule the government. Every effort the government has made has been like a laughing stock at Mutembei. And sometimes I look at people who come here and they speak a lot of knowledge, but that knowledge is selective because they just want to be in a position where they cannot accept and give credit where credit is due. Bernard, you speak about GMO very much and detest it, but I equally found that you're not very knowledgeable when it comes to food security here in North America, how it's handled. I gave you an example of Monsanto, which is one of the companies that has taken patent, and you will need to go back to a documentary called Food Inc. and follow the issues of cross-pollination and all that issues that you are talking about, patent rights and all that, and understand how people are, or how food patents are managed here, something that you are dispelling. However, I have observed that more often we come here just because some just come to pass time and negatively criticize. I have criticized this government where I feel they are not advancing the interest of the people of Kenya. For instance, when the government, when I mentioned examples where Raila Amolo Odinga endorsed GMO here, and you dispelled it because now when you're cutting it, it's not fitting you. But when you cut it to and it's
Bwana
fitting you,
Mise, tafadhali
you support it.
tusisumbuane kwa
So,
masuala ambayo unajua from your
so,
standard 4 whatever science
so,
subject. What is cross pollination?
so my argument here is the issue of GMO. It is not something that we are Kenya is not going to reinvent the wheel. So, other countries have invested a lot of money in science and research, and they know the effects of GMO. And most countries, like for example, where I am here in Canada, they have highly regulated GMO by saying we cannot consume GMO if the scientists have not approved that. And they sometimes 70% they follow to the letter. I think for me, the fear that I have for GMO to be introduced in Kenya is not because of the effects, but the ability of our scientists, those who are in charge with the regulations, to implement the regulation to the letter. That is where my fear is. Otherwise, like Baba said, conservative kills innovation. Let us be open-minded. And lastly, as I
You are
leave,
not you did not answer my question, please, and you are
what was your
deliberately
question?
running away from it. You
What was your
said I
question?
don't have knowledge of what you can stop the cross pollination from your neighbor's farm, okay, to
No,
your own farm through advocacy and having you call them patent what rights?
patent rights.
Yes, how?
Yeah, you need just you will need to look into it, and I've given you a reference that talks
No. Me
more
say you
about patent rights and how they overcame those challenges of cross pollination
hapana,
and
tafadhali
and so on.
muache kutubeba wajinga. Wewe na serikali yako unaiadvocate nayo, please stop dragging Raila's name to justify what you know is wrong. You have fears about GMO in the context that
play?
if it is not regulated rightly, it will have effects.
So
That means you have
Ben,
confirmed that the fears we have on GMO are right. And so whatever
Ben,
you are here to do, you're even defeating yourself in your own argument. So let's
how
be honest.
can I
GMO
play? Can I play a clip where Raila Amolo Odinga said exactly what I'm saying
what
today?
Raila Amolo Odinga said, and the scientific discoveries on how the GMO is affecting lives cannot be compared.
No, can we listen to the clip the same way you're playing the clip?
I'm asking you a question. Raila
No, I
saying
mean
something.
you've been playing
If
the
Raila
clip
says
here.
this drink, okay, this drink I'm drinking, all right. If Raila says this drink is safe and the drink is not safe, will Raila's statement turn this drink from being unsafe to being safe? You are the scientist here. You are the knowledgeable person here.
I thought it is what Baba says is what most of us follow here.
Good night.
His lie is not honest.